past them. The man that stand last, so I laugh at them. Sometimes it make me want to clap at them. I just sit back and laugh at them. Cause the hate never lasts. The gates got me past them. The man that stand last, so I laugh at them. Sometimes it make me want to clap at them. Escape from the matrix of the mind, you decide. I am one with the central sun of my origin. I feed my own addiction with pain's infliction, universally switching my conscious description. In the frame of my mind, I see pictures of a child wounded from a scarred past. How long do the scars last? Self-esteem blooming from all of the foul laughs. Use it as a weapon. Said I'd be no good like my dad, and now I'm the weapon. And I'm no good like my dad with mom's temperamental. I hear her in the window. She downloads me info. When I listen from within, though, told me kill this instrumental. Grab my pen, pad, and pencil. Parallel lines the margin. Leave these rap cats starving. So I embody the man. I came down in the body of man to this body of man. You critters ain't never bodied a man. Niggas ain't really part of the plan. Figures you come through, javelin plan. So I decode your encryption, your bitch ass description. Genetic code shifted. My devil kundalini bite. Your skinny jeans twisted. Your homo-like appetite. I'm calculus without a calculator. Your mathematics is ass backwards, and that's tragic. Freaking Flyer Friday, family. Frequent Flyer Friday. It's Frequent Flyer Friday. Stillness and abundance, love and light, health and wholeness. Stillness and abundance, love and light, health and wholeness. Once more, stillness and abundance, love and light, health and wholeness. It's Frequent Flyer Friday. So I hope y'all got y'all tickets. I'm feeling good for no reason at all. Operating in the truest and highest and best version of my authentic self. I hope y'all feeling good for no reason at all. Operating the truest, highest, and authentic version of your best self. I feel good to be here with y'all today. Once again, it is Friday. I don't know what you're doing in your Friday or how you feeling on your Friday, but I'm feeling good for no reason at all. Old souls take turns, family. A lot of us old souls that haven't realized it yet. But I'm an old soul that recognize and realize it through my real eye. I hope somebody caught that. But old souls take turns, and just happy to be here. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy for all who join me. I hope y'all come the right way, operating in your highest light, sincerely, so you can actually leave with something. Otherwise, you're gonna leave as you came. I give y'all my energy, clear, cleansed, and transmuted. So if you're not clear, cleansed, and transmuted, it ain't nothing that I can accept from you. I want to say I appreciate those who have been supporting me in the way of purchases, jewelries, donations, likes, shares, subscriptions. Thank you to my new subscribers. I'm glad you're here. I just wanted to say that because it was on me. Old souls take turns. And old souls show the younger souls the turn that they're going to have to take by being an example. And that's important to me because that's one of the things that elders, ancestors, gone and some still here, have exemplified in my life, and passing some of their flame, some of their torch, and imparting it into mine. And I take honor to be able to do that same thing through all types of gestures. Furthermore, through the gesture of what I share through these videos. I say that to say, if you love the ancestors for who they have been, what they have done, and how they appearing in us, then you got to show the ancestors support and love through the people that they show up through in your life. Support your bridges. Support the people who you know that the ancestors working through. That's important because that's how your blessings come. It's important to honor the elders and people who vibrating from a higher place and a higher frequency. It's important to support those people. Support your sources. Our blessings is only as big as we're able to bless. I don't know who I'm talking to, but I'm talking to a lot of people. It's even something that I have to exercise. And one way that I'm really able to exercise, I really exercise giving, is by giving to people that I don't know. Your blessings is only as big as your ability to bless others. I honor this moment called life. I honor the life forces that come in and out of my life stream. It's an honor to be here in this experience with you all. It's important, family, it's important to know something in the spiritual realm. A lot of people are over concerned with physical status, societal status, how people view them. A lot of superficial and mundane things, but the most important thing to me is my spiritual ranking. You know, it's real out here in these spiritual streets, and not everybody woke, and you know, it's a lot of foolishness going on. It's a lot of spells and a whole bunch of things going on. So you got to know how to keep. You got to know how to be a walking backfire. Everything come at you backfire. You know, keep your light lit. If you keep your light lit, then you're a walking backfire. Somebody will catch you. And to be able to do that, we got to be at peace. And if you're at peace, you're able to feel good for no reason at all. I be doing a lot of work, family. Light work is not light work. I do a lot of work in the physical. I do a lot of work through pen and pad. I do a lot of work in the astral realm. Some of y'all may even see me in y'all sleep. Walk with me. But it's levels, and it's levels to this. And throughout the many levels or the different facets, not just in spirituality, but life in general. See, life in general is my spirituality. So I see spiritually through all applications of my life. Because all facets of our life is what mature us in all facets of our life. Otherwise, like I asked before, if you got 8 windows and you only see out 2, do you really think you see a clear view? No, you got to be able to see out all 8. So one may have to be dusted, you know. One may have to be pressure washed. One may have to be sprayed with Windex, depending on what type of substance is on the surface. Maturity. We're gonna talk about maturity. Maturity isn't something that automatically happens to us. Anybody who's been living long enough know that, and anybody who has thought they was grown before it was time don't have experience to indicate to you that you still got some growing up to do. Ask me how I know. Everything I present is from a living example or some type of living experience that we all going through or we all have been through. So things resonate. I'm aware that things resonate even when we don't want it to. And a lot of times when we don't want things to resonate that we know speak to us, it's because we're not ready to deal with that truth, that reality. And that's okay. We're talking about maturity. Maturity isn't something that automatically happens to us. Maturity don't happen overnight. You know, to be an adult human being, you have to go from a process, from an embryo to a fetus, and through the stages. Maturity isn't something that happens to us overnight. And it takes courage to be yourself. And being ourselves will bring in the fruition of maturity. Otherwise, we won't act like ourselves. We'll be acting like whatever the condition, situation, or circumstance provokes us to act like. We're talking about maturity, y'all. It takes courage to be ourselves, or you will betray yourself as society thinks you to be, as I just said. And I say that to say because I take pride in being the same person every day and having the same energy all the time, or the energy that's needed for the time that's presenting itself before me. And it don't take for you to know me to know that it's a vibration. But if you know me, you know that because it's a vibration. It's good to be in a place where maturity shows you, you can see what maturity is showing you, or what maturity has done in your own life, because I find myself, or what maturity has done in my life, because I find myself calmer. I find myself more patient. I find myself not in a rush, which shows or reflects the patience that I have acquired. I find myself more in control of my temperament, my emotional well-being, my emotional health, my mental health, my stress management, because mental health is stress management. If you're feeling good, you ain't got no problems, you ain't got no reason to be stressed about nothing. So I salute those who are true to who we are. I love being true to who I am, and not having to find a need to project a different version of myself according to where I'm at or what's going on, in public and in private. That's important, in public and in private. And the reason these things was coming to me because, including myself, I've been in places where I pretended to like things that I know I didn't like, and pretended not to like things that I knew that I liked, as well as accepting things from people that I never would accept just because I love them, and not accepting things from people that I love because I love them. It's the madness that we go through. We're talking about maturity. Our sanity. It's crazy how our sanity is so synchronized with our maturity. Because based on what you do, people will say you crazy. I said that to help somebody catch it. But reason being, it's time that we as we learn who we are, as we truly are, from the substance, from the essence, from the divine particle within, we attract people from that place, and then we start to see the difference in the rhythm of life as we live it in the moment called now, based on the reflections of the past. It's time that we attract people and things into our life based on who we are, not what we do or what we have done. Only the present count. The future is in the right now. And time is a circle. So according to what we're going through, we can tell what time it is according to how the circle of energy moving in our life. I remember a time I used to act like I knew everything. And I still do sometimes. I ain't gonna cap. But it's easy to act like we know everything, and it's easy to get caught in the act of acting like we know everything. That was the point. It's easy to act like we know everything, and it's easy to get caught in the act of acting like we know everything, especially when you're dealing with folks with wisdom. It's one thing. It's another thing that the elders taught me. So we got to be honest. When you're dealing with folks, that soul may be a little older than yours, because you might get caught up. But in actuality, or in my own reality, you know, I'm honest enough to accept that nobody knows everything about anything. We all are pieces of the puzzle, and that's the beauty. That's why I say, in order to see God in yourself, really and truly, you have to see it reflected everywhere, regardless of your personal likes or preferences. Nobody knows everything about anything, and nobody knows everything about anything all the time. We are all pieces to the puzzle. That's why we're here, as many parts of the whole. And in our own wholeness, and we come to that place of balance, masculine, feminine, yin and yang, and integration, and harmony and balance. In our own wholeness, you know, we can see the wholeness in others, even when it's not present. If I ask you questions that you know all the answers to, what use am I to you? I wouldn't really be no use at all, because there's nothing that's for you to really sharpen your tool against, nothing to really make you think, because you already know the answers. So this is why I say things the way that I say them, even to provoke us to think. At the same time, I also have to be aware that intelligence breeds haters. But when you speak from a place of cosmic consciousness, intelligence really, those who are intellectualists, really doesn't have nothing to work with, because cosmic consciousness has a way of speaking to us through things that's what's called over the head. You have to work to find the meaning. You have to work your mind to find the meaning. Intelligence breeds haters, and people will hate and despise you just for being intelligent. Many of us are realizing that. I talk to a lot of people on personal consultations, and I hear that being expressed a lot. But it's not a bad thing to go through. It's part of the shadow work, you know. A lot of times we see things in others that we dislike only because we haven't acquired them or activated them in ourselves. I can relate to that myself. It's part of the journey, but we gotta rise above that place. That's when a person is still dealing with comparing and competition, you know, which leads to envy and jealousy. See, we don't want to be down there. It takes courage to be yourself, and that will be your confidence. I want to read, while it's on my mind, I want to read, since we still talk about maturity. It takes courage to be yourself, and in that you will find your confidence. And I relate to that personally, because when I looked at, you know, I told somebody the other day, man, if I was me looking at me outside myself, man, I probably wouldn't like me neither. I probably would be a hater against myself too. So I get it, but I get it from a place of so much growth, maturity, and understanding to the point that things like that don't affect me the way that it used to, and I'm able to talk about it and shine light from it. But we're talking about maturity still, family. Maturity, according to Google, maturity is the ability to deal effectively and resiliently with experience and to perform satisfactory and developmental tasks. And what they consider developmental tasks is in the areas of biological, that means genetically, social, how we perform in public and in private, cognitive, how we think and process information or daily experiences, and the characteristics of one's age level. That's how our levels of maturity are weighed. Fortunately, we don't have to depend on anybody else's definition to define us, our own personal life experiences, have afforded us all the opportunity to be in a better and more honest view of ourselves, and from that place define ourselves according to our malarial maturity that's being shown us by what we are experiencing. Knowing the difference between what we desire and what we require will lead us to a road called maturity, family. And with that, feel good for no reason at all, stillness and abundance, love and light, health and wholeness, and the rest of it. Y'all know how I go. It's been a pleasure being here. I am your host and co-pilot, Saiwoo Da God. Peace and love.